It seems we were able to expel the bandits who were hiding in Garreg Mach. How fortuitous that you students should gather at the monastery like this.
We made a promise with the professor. That was 5 years ago to the very day.
We all gave our promise to be meeting here when the Millennium Festival arrived.
Though the one who came up with that plan is not here. Edelgard. Still, how incredible that those present gathered despite the terrible state of things.
The most incredible part of it is that you didn't oversleep and miss the reunion.
So, that is the reason. Professor, the monastery is safe because of your devoted students. I am now fully convinced that you are the only one who can save Fodlan. Ah, so you have finally accepted your destiny. On the very day I return to Garreg Mach, you awaken and return as well. This is no mere coincidence, but rather the work of the goddess. Actually, well, it will be easier to just show you. Come with me to the Holy Mausoleum. I realize that since you've been slumbering for so long, you have no idea what has transpired in the various territories. Allow me to explain. After the Battle of Garreg Mach, there was a change of regime in the kingdom. House Blaiddyd suffered a series of brutal massacres, which claimed the lives of Dimitri and Regent Rufus. The kingdom capital fell and was absorbed into the Empire as the Fargus Dukedom, which is now under Cornelia's control. Some still resist the Empire. As of now, Rodrigue of House Fraldarius is at the center of such efforts. In the Alliance, Claude leads the faction that opposes the Empire, and Lawrence leads those who have sided with them. The front lines are ever in motion, but the war effort has stagnated overall. In short, both the Kingdom and the Alliance have been swallowed up by the Empire and are on the verge of collapse. We must gather our generals and soldiers under your command and reverse this dire situation. Flayn, look! The professor has returned to us.
What do you mean? Oh, goodness! It really is you, Professor! I cannot believe you are still of this world. We were so worried we would never see you again.
I forgot something important at the Holy Mausoleum. I told my brother that I had to go back for it no matter what, and so here I am.
After we finished here, we were going to continue our search for Rhea. But now that you are here, things have changed. We must not waste this opportunity. We shall send word to the knights scattered all across the land. The time has come for the Knights of Seiros to return to action. We are counting on you, Professor.
Part 2. Silver Snow. Guardian Moon. A king without a kingdom. Having parted ways with Edelgard, former students of the Black Eagle House now work alongside the Knights of Seiros at Garreg Mach. They begin to create a resistance army strong enough to take on her Imperial forces.
Oh, thank the goddess. I couldn't bear the thought of letting Gerald down by not finding you.
Guess you lucked out. We've been looking everywhere for you, but I see Lady Rhea isn't with you. Damn.
Everyone was real worried about you, Professor.
Seta told us everything. From here on out, you will have our aid.
I am so grateful that everyone is safe. I am sorry things are moving so rapidly, but there is something we must discuss. Come with me. The time has come to make our true stand against the Empire. Our base will be Garreg Mach Monastery. The interior is in less than prime condition, but we should be able to utilize it much the same as we had before.
Surely those Imperial jerks have this place staked out, right? It's a highly strategic location.
It may be an area of importance, but it is far removed from the front lines. Considering the burden of transport, it is possible they are not paying too much attention to it.
Nothing escapes the Emperor. There must at least be a spy or two.
Professor, what do you think? I see. Then it must be the right idea.
The town and surrounding hamlets are still present, and though far from abundant, the church still has funds at its disposal.
That's true. Professor, I think we can leave expanding our army to my brother. He was always good at negotiating, and I believe he is best suited to the task.
In that case, I have a request. Please allow my soldiers to join your ranks as well. House Sire already tried taking on the Emperor. As a result, our territory was stolen from us. As a consequence, I do not have many soldiers left to speak of, but those I have are yours to command.
I feel like I should tell you that I've been protecting some kids who lost their parents in the war. They're in the town right now, but maybe we can move them to the monastery? I'm sure they'd be happy to chip in however they can.
Yes, I understand. I will make the necessary arrangements.
I nabbed some valuables from my house. Father is with the Emperor now, so... It's not much, but it's yours.
I don't have a thing to contribute. In fact, I'm still in my same old clothes.
I've been wandering on my own for 5 years. I won't go back to that house or my father, that's for sure.
I understand. Leave it to me. No labor is too great if it means saving Fodlan.
Wow. Did they really think that little of Linhardt that they decided to give him money? Also, by the way, Annette's here as well. But we've already seen her, so she's good. She's fine. Yeah, because Ingrid, the last time you were here, that's when Gerald died.
Yeah.
So my god, it's been a whole year since our dad dead. Like, damn dad dead died.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Yep, in case it wasn't obvious, everyone who you recruited is here, except for a few people, but we'll go over that in due time.
Yes. Oh no.
You have no hope for the future? Come on, Ingrid. I know it's war, but Jesus.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
Thank God. So you have no hopes for the future, even though you literally talk about what your future wants to be.
I had such a great time.
Professor, I don't want to talk about my future or my ambitions or what I want to do in my life. But however, I do want to become a knight for the king and serve by his side. Huh? On that note, though, hey everyone, welcome back to Fire Emblem Three Houses Black Eagle Edition, officially on the road to the Silver Snow. In the last episode, we arrived here at the monastery 5 years later, and not only did we have a nice reunion with our staff, our students, but also our nemesis. It was brief, it was uncomfortable, but we now know that there's no turning back for Edelgard. We gave her a chance, she gave us a chance, and we decided to simply part ways. But now things are beginning to differ, and I am happy, and I am going to say in one foul swoop, better late than never. Let us go to the monastery, and let's talk about it. Right after this.
Professor?
This may seem a bit sudden, but I want to thank you, Professor. That is, for letting me live my life the way I want. I've noticed you've been giving me fewer of those soul-revealing gazes lately. I appreciate you making an effort to not trouble yourself over who I spend my time with. Well, of course. Did you think I wouldn't notice? It's kind of sweet in its own way. Professor, may I tell you a story about when I was younger? I was an orphan, living in the back alleys of Enbar, until one day I was overheard singing. That was when my new life began. I was suddenly a songstress in the Middle Franc Opera Company. Performers, nobility. I met so many people. But none of them ever really knew me. I was just some young, pretty girl who could sing. A spectacle to be admired. Even though everyone praised my looks and my voice, and they showered me with gifts, I knew one day I'd be old. My looks would fade, my voice would change. I wouldn't sound the same. And I started to wonder, when I did get old, what would I have left? I'd be old, alone, and back on the streets of the capital, right where I'd started. That's sweet of you, even if you are just flirting. I never had much to begin with in life, and I worry that one day I'll be that way again. That's why I keep searching for someone who will love me. Someone unaware of the songsters, who can love a girl that used to be scared and alone on the streets of the capital. I wonder if such a strange person can even exist.
And that is the first instance of a character reaching an A in support, at least regarding this Let's Play. And for those of you who don't know, I'll say straight away, if a character is level A, just keep an eye on them. Because for some characters, and I'm not going to say who or in what circumstance, it can go deeper. Meanwhile, we had plans for over 5 years ago. And they're still good. Fodlan magic at its finest. Yeah, you can plant whatever the hell you want and it'll be fine, but, you know.
Hey, Professor. I know that we didn't plan to stop at the monastery, but I'm glad we did. I'm happy to be here with everyone again. Right? It's as though we went back in time 5 years. I feel like my old self again.
Another thing that's changed. With characters now in the war phase, there's no students and teachers here. It's all even. Every student who you can recruit, they can technically act as faculty training, to put it simply. So, if you have a particular character who focuses on things which you would like to learn, you're not restricted by the teachers anymore. You can pretty much focus on whatever the hell you want.
I'd given up on ever seeing you again. Where have you been hiding? Anyway, now that we're reunited in the land of the living, I must fulfill my promise. That's right. I promised the captain I'd protect you in his stead, and now I'll make good on my word.
But what if I die tomorrow? We are in a war after all.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. You know, it's such a thrill to be able to greet you like this again. I almost died as well in the battle 5 years ago, but I won't allow any enemies to get into this place again. I promise you that. Even if the Death Knight shows up, I'll be sure to... Well, for now I'll keep training, so I can eventually feel confident that I can stop him.
Even the meme is back. So wholesome, so good, and just look at the map. We have a few people to talk to and a few places to be.
Yeah.
And for anyone who's unsure, actually we'll talk to this guy there and then we'll be on the way.
Got a favor to ask.
Yeah. going back to character support for a brief second, each character, as you know, has C, B, A, and sometimes S, and a few arrows in between. There are a few constraints in what you can do with that, and they're mirrored.
Hey,
as we just get simply, just typical, side quests, whatnot. They each have a distinct criteria except for one. C. The C ranks in every person's support, they have to be done before war breaks out. A can only be done after war breaks out, and that includes S as well. And depending on when the halt arrows are, the stop gaps between C, B, and A, etc., they can be. It's same thing applies. You can only go to B and cross those before war breaks out. However, one thing to note, and this is something that really surprised me, and albeit can make some support conversations with different characters kind of awkward and out of place. B ranks. They can be done at any time, whether it's before war or after war.
With the return of its knights, Garrick Mach is finally coming back to life. The Church of Seiros will follow you from now on, but please do not abandon the search for Lady Rhea. Thank you. I know the battles ahead will be dire, but we will support you with all our strength. I have something to ask of you.
Forget Rhea. Got it. And, yeah. Sedef also... Or in this route, he has specific side quests for you, and this changes depending on which route you take. In the Black Eagles, of course, you just saw it, Sedef. However, if you choose the Blue Lion route, it is actually
Gilbert.
Sure, Gilbert who gives those. And what they are is they are essentially the most bog standard of side quests in which you could freaking get. Collect items and come back to me. Nothing more to say, just bog standard, and in all honesty, I feel like it's a bit of a pain in the ass, because let me explain. One of the main criteria in doing those side quests is they ask you to get certain veg, fruit, and whatnot. I like how we say that right in front of Raphael. Great. But one of the reasons why I don't like those side quests very much is that most of the items which the side quest asks for, it requires you to plant specific seeds, and also depending on whether you want to put compost on them, so to speak. And it can be a mixed bag, and you're not guaranteed to get the items in which you want. So if you try and try and try each week, if, like, for example, you skip battles at all and just go simply for planting, you're not guaranteed to get them. So therefore, it is possible for you to do everything right but still not be able to do everything in one playthrough, which I don't think should be the case. But hey, that's just my small gripe. I say that like I'm mumbling to myself on my top floor, which I just was. I'm just in my room going, no, bloody hell, I hate side quests, I hate stupid setup, forgive me the stupid side quests. Ooh, fine, Rhea, ooh, look, Rhea. But I'm just moping at that point.
Professor, please do not be concerned. I just did too much overworking and lost my strength. Yes, I have no problems. Accept my apology for giving you worry. I have sorrow. I am sorry to be fainting at a time like this. Even though I was not asking for your care and attention, you gave it willingly. I am thinking that is incorrect. Will you have a listen to me? There is something that I must be saying. I am thinking you already have knowledge of why I came to Fodlan. Not for studying, but as a hostage for the Empire. So that Bridget would not be rebelling anymore. It feels like a knife against my throat. that I am making my grandfather obey the Empire. If I were running away from the Empire, then Brigid would be defeated. I am not having any options. To be living, I must be fighting to win. For Brigid to be living, the Empire needs to be crushed. So I must be crushing the Empire. That is what my people are wanting from me, and what my grandfather, the King of Brigid, is wanting. That is a truth. I wonder what I should be doing. I want to be granting the wants of my tribe, so their wants are my own, correct? What I really want... I have understanding. Wait, no, I actually do not have understanding. Yet. What I am understanding is that there is something I am not understanding. When I know what my true want is, I give you my promise that I will be telling you first.
I'll be happy to hear it. I feel like one of the most awkward conversations I feel like I've ever had regarding that little gripe is between I think it was Felix and Annette. How like Annette was singing in one particular conversation and then war broke out 5 years later, and then Annette says, "Hey Felix, remember you hearing me sing the other day?" Yes, if you want to talk like 5 years the other day, then yeah, sure, I heard you. It could be silly at times, but it sort of like breaks the narrative flow, so to speak.
Yeah.
Take that! Oh, you know, there is always something. It never ends. Lately, I have been feeling uneasy, impatient. Edelgard claims victory after victory. She never stops. 5 years ago, she ascended the throne and swept away the corrupt nobles, my father included. I always thought I would be the one to unseat him. But she did it instead, with all the ease and indifference of someone cracking an egg. She put my father under house arrest. She stripped House Ire of its power. Rather than accepting a role as her puppet, I left. Now I fight to topple the Empire. The disparity between Edelgard and myself is obvious. She never stops moving forward, single-minded, never wavering. But where does that leave me? Here, flailing about, going nowhere, contributing nothing. But it is. That is the reality. Not once since our days at the Academy have I exceeded Edelgard's abilities. I saw her as a worthy opponent. She did not even see me as a contender. She did not even consider me at all. As the head of the noble House Ire, I must be able to achieve results. But all my efforts have come to nothing. Results are everything. I have not shown results, so I will be stagnating here forever. I appreciate that, but it is not enough to persuade me. I know that I have a massive wall to climb, and I must climb it alone. Even so, may I ask a favor? Professor, please keep an eye on my progress. I would appreciate if you were always by my side, bearing witness to my accomplishments.
Just so I have a witness to back me up in these bar conversations I have. Like yes, I slain many beasts in my time, all by myself, single-handedly. Isn't that right, Professor?
Professor.
Everyone from our house wants to talk to us.
I wonder why.
Professor, something's been bothering me. Remember that suspicious guy I chased after back when I was a student? A knight scolded me for it, but at the time I really thought I was doing the right thing. Now that I've had more experience on the battlefield, though...
I've been looking for you. There isn't much time, so I'll keep this brief. The knights encountered a band of brigands while out marching. It was hard fought, but we prevailed. Our soldiers are highly trained, but the enemy was formidable, and we weren't expecting combat. There were a number of casualties among our troops.
People died. Welcome to war, kid. Just one day in and people have died. Better get used to it, man. And that kind of reminds me, and this is especially the case with a Dimitri, but I'll get into it in a little bit. People of our house, and then there's Eloise. One of those things don't match, but anyway. Getting back quickly to what as was mentioned, one key detail, and I swear and I promise you this will be the last time I mention this. It's very subtle, but with characters like Dimitri, you can definitely tell. It doesn't matter what period of time you are. You can kind of tell just by the voice actor's delivery on when they would prefer to have them viewed. In Dimitri's case, even though, because in time, in a Blue Lion Let's Play, Dimitri's voice changes. Instead of the jovial and happy and, happy-go-lucky young Dimitri, as time goes on, after war, he becomes grizzled and angry and hates the world.
Yeah.
In some particular supports with a Dimitri, you can have the war model of Dimitri, where he's meant to be gruff and meant to be angry, but yet he talks like a child and is just so happy.
Yeah.
It's a very weird change, but it's just worth noting. Again, it doesn't help the sort of narrative flow being messed up, but you get the point.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how much people want to talk to, except nobody wants to talk to Cyril because he sucks. And just one final thing on the Monastery. You haven't lost any access to what you can do. You can still do tournaments, you can still do training, you can still fish, you can still do with the choir, even answer notes. Because that's what we definitely need in terms of war, for sure. I'm not saying that again. But no, we can just go over some support conversations because everything's been let loose now.
Aha, Lysithea. It's wrong to tease, yet I can hardly help myself. I know a secret. Your secret, in fact.
I think you mean a baseless rumor. Why are you wasting your time? And mine, for that matter.
Well... it's a secret that could completely overturn what is considered common knowledge in Crest research.
Shut your mouth! Just... Let's go talk somewhere other than here. Okay, where did you hear about it?
There was a sort of accident in Professor Hanneman's room.
I should have figured. You haven't told anyone, have you?
Of course not. If someone else were to learn you have 2 crests, I might lose you as a test subject.
Please stop talking so loudly. So what if I have 2 crests? If you insist on speaking of it, please do so quietly.
My intuition was correct. You do have 2 crests.
Wait, what? Did you just trick me?
Trick is such a strong word. I think of it as testing a hypothesis. The truth is, I simply made an educated guess.
Well, now that I've confirmed it for you, there's not much I can do.
I disagree. For example, you could tell me if you were born with them, or is the source magical? What does it feel like to use both crests at the same time? Is it pleasant, painful, euphoric?
Enough is enough! I am done talking about this. As though I'd speak of this to the likes of you.
I understand her desire for privacy, but to refuse my request for knowledge? It's, well, it's rude.
What do you mean I can't ask how your parents died? I need to know for science!
Ah, Linhardt. Reading as studiously as ever, I see. Anything to do with crests?
Hello, Professor Hanneman. Actually, this book's about fishing.
I didn't realize you were interested in fishing. What an unexpected discovery. I had heard that you were only interested in crests, to the exclusion of all else. As it were, I had rather thought I could train you as my successor, should we get to know one another better.
I'm sorry to betray your expectations. Truth be told, I've been thinking of giving up on my crest research.
What? Whatever for? Don't tell me you believe fishing to be a more worthwhile pursuit.
No, it's nothing to do with fishing. I adore the subject of crests. But to study them, you have to consult the people who bear them, right? I just don't have the energy for that.
It is an unavoidable hardship, I admit, but the satisfaction of making a real breakthrough is second to none.
I'm sure the satisfaction of catching a fish is pretty great too.
Consider this, child. Luring fish from the depths pales in comparison to untangling the mysteries of a quest. Why? It all comes down to purpose. Purpose, I say.
Calm down. I get it. Really.
Evidently, you do not. You must have something to work toward in life. The ultimate goal of fishing is to eat the fish. The goal of solving the mysteries of crests is, well, you must find that for yourself. What do you hope to uncover once everything is finally explained? What motivates you to keep digging deeper?
I had never thought about it like that. Perhaps if I did have a goal, I might share your enthusiasm on the subject.
Or it could just be the fact that Lysithea gave him a hard slap and a slap, a smack, a punch to the balls, you know, whichever one works. Either way, I like how as soon as Lysithea caused a problem, that made him very much like, huh, I wonder if crests are worth it. Probably not. But anyway though guys, that is going to be a brief intro to being back at Monastery 5 years later. There are a few more things to get into, and trust me, we will get into them because they are very much worth your time. But until then guys, we're back home, we're back with some members of our family. But until then, we will see you next time, which we are continuously going around Garrick Mark, catching up with people, and getting a grasp on the situation at hand. But until then, if you like this video, please be sure to like it. Thank you very much. If you dislike it, well then, you are clearly not here with us in the monastery. Shame. But if you want to subscribe, see more content like this, then please be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time, in which will we talk to Ignat, or will we leave him in social inadequacy? See you next time.